we're going to talk to you about something a little bit interesting today and something a little probably less common. We're going to talk to you about lot lines and surveys and the importance of them when it comes to a real estate transaction. And I know you have a firsthand account of something that you've seen recently that we're really excited to hear about.
This is a good thing to talk about because generally when we do closings in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, you don't do surveys. You don't. It's the reason why is because the lender in these situations typically has coverage for survey matters, and the lender doesn't require a survey to be done for a transaction. So unless the buyer specifically requests it, then no survey is done. And the importance of a survey is really, you don't want to build something, an improvement, whatever it is, on the neighbor's yard. You want to build it on your yard, and that's why you do the survey. That's why the municipality asks for the survey before a permit is issued to make that improvement. Surveys are not easy to come by here in these New England states, simply because they're not done as frequently as they are done on every closing transaction. Let's say any lender closing transaction in Florida, for example. I did have a closing recently that took place, which I thought was kind of interesting, a little annoying. I represented the buyer. The buyer's agent, our agent, showed the property to a potential buyer. There was no mention whatsoever. As a matter of fact, the listing agent wasn't there. There was just, I think it was a lockbox. So access provided through the lockbox. They saw the property, they liked what they saw. They made an offer, it got accepted. It was all based upon, a certain assessor's plat and lot number. And that's the lot that, that was in the, tax assessor's records. It was all in the MLS, the works. So it was all, finalized into the purchase and sales agreement. Title was run, everything was done right before the closing, about let's say a week before the closing. I get a notification from the attorney for the seller that, hey, I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's a portion of the lot that's going to be carved off this lot. And this is like I said, a week before the closing, a portion of the lot that's being carved off. The surveyors are there, today and doing the survey. So, this is catching everybody off guard because purchase and sales agreement, no mention that that there's going to be this adjustment made prior to closing. You need permitting to be done. You need a administrative subdivision to be prepared. These are not things you can just decide. Wake up in the morning and decide to do. At a moment's notice. You need to plan for this, and so this should have been planned prior to putting that property on the market, because there, again, you need municipal approval for something like this. It can't just be done, on a whim. And so we had to threaten litigation. We eventually did get resolved. But the point I'm making, and it kind of ties into the lot lines and everything, is that you don't do surveys here, and that's an important consideration. So you need to be aware and look at what you've got carefully. Not just look at the interior of the home, but look kind of at the exterior and get a good idea of where, the fences are, if there are any. This is not one of those circumstances that you could have been aware of as a purchaser, just because this came up after the contract was signed and there was no mention. It should have been, even in the MLS. These kind of things do happen. And it is a little, scary when this kind of thing does happen. But a buyer can rest assured that unless it's been disclosed, a seller can't just carve out a portion of the lot, as an afterthought. These things do need municipal approval, and it's necessary to do that before you even consider selling the primary lot.